What's good? Amazing, amazing news. HBO Boxing is out of HBO Sports, is leaving boxing after 45 years because of the horrible performance of their boxing crew. How bad can you be? This is according to a article in the New York Times. This is the article from Boxing Scene. According to an article in the New York Times, HBO is officially leaving boxing after 45 years. HBO Sports executive president Peter Nelson made the announcement that HBO was dropping boxing Thursday morning in a meeting with the HBO boxing production staff. This is not a subjective decision. Nelson said to the New York Times, "Our audience research informs us that boxing is no longer a determinant factor for subscribing to HBO. HBO has faced stiff competition with Top Rank leaving the network for an exclusive long-term deal with ESPN. When Top Rank left, don't blame it on Top Rank. When Top Rank left, the network lost rising stars like Terrence Crawford, Vasily Lomachenko, and numerous others. And HBO significantly expanded their boxing coverage with top fighters like Deontay Wilder, Errol Spence, and Mikey Garcia making Showtime their home. Promoter Eddie Hearn's Matchroom also arrived with new streaming service DAZN, and nearly every boxer in the stable, including several that were featured on HBO, will be exclusively featured on the network. Premier Boxing Champion boasts a massive stable of over 100 contracted fighters, over 200, thank you, and signed a multi-year deals with Fox and Showtime to provide boxing content on a regular basis. HBO has also faced declining ratings over the last few years. Their recent Superfly 3 tripleheader which took place on September 8th, peaked at 349,000 viewers, making it one of the lowest rated live televised events in the network's history. HBO's two biggest stars, Canelo and Gennady Golovkin, became network free agents after their recent HBO pay-per-view rematch 2 weeks ago in Vegas. Nelson left the door open to a potential special one-night event if the fight was big enough. There's plenty of boxing out there, Nelson said, but what we have not seen is a lot of signature destination fights. Because of our association with boxing, people forget we're not a sports network. We're a storytelling platform. I'm still a fan of boxing. If there is a distinction event, absolutely, we're in that conversation." Bull. Peter Nelson and HBO Sportscast, Jim Lampley, Harold Letterman, Max Kellerman, previously, Larry Merchant, are the reason why HBO Boxing flopped. And it flopped super hard because they did not focus on the best fighters. They constantly were telling people and deciding for people what they see in fights, what the outcomes are. They constantly took dumps on their own product. When you are watching a boxing match, HBO would constantly sit there and tell you how bad the fight is that you're watching, how bad the event is that they are giving you. They decided what fights they thought were important, trying to get behind Eastern European fighters to the exclusion of American fighters was a suicidal event, and people had been saying it for years. Of course, HBO Boxing is not a determining factor in whether or not somebody's going to subscribe to HBO or not, because your boxing sucks, and they have to go other places to get good fights. The first mistake that they made, they've been making mistakes for years, but this started from the moment that Larry Merchant would get into the ring and start tearing down the fighters that the boxing that people tune in to see. People tuned in to see Roy Jones Jr. People tuned in to see Bernard Hopkins. They tuned in to see Floyd Mayweather Jr. These are people that were fans of these people that were watching it, but Larry Merchant thought that they were fans of him and would go off and just disrespect these cats as soon as he stepped into the ring. To try to put fighters like Gennady Golovkin, sell people like Gennady Golovkin who can't speak a lick of English to people, who would want to watch that? Who's going to get attached to Gennady Golovkin? Nobody's going to get attached to Gennady Golovkin. They might be interested in Gennady Golovkin because they don't like the other guy. But this is good news for boxing. This is good news for boxing. Because hopefully it wakes up other people that they need to put on quality fights. You need to put on, the one thing I don't like about this article, this whatever this nonsense article is, a lot of the nonsense in here is that people buy your product and want to watch your product if you have the best product. And the best fighters are the best product. The fighters that can win the fight won the fight. But if you continually complain about how they go about doing it, you didn't like the style, you didn't like the manner in which they won the fight, you discredit their effort, you discredit your own product. And they had been doing it for years and years and years and turning off the hardcore boxing fans on a regular basis while Showtime on the other hand, embraced hardcore boxing fans and continually gave them the same fighters that HBO rejected. The same fighters that HBO rejected and criticized, Showtime used as the basis by which they began to take over boxing. And ESPN, it's going to be the same thing between ESPN and ESPN. If they go down the same route as Showtime, their boxing won't mean anything either. Because HBO, and don't give me that, we're a storytelling outfit. That's what our channel is. The reason we're getting rid of boxing isn't because our boxing is bad and people don't want to come to us to watch boxing. The millions and millions of boxing fans who used to like our channel no longer watch us. It's not like people unsubscribed to HBO. People just didn't watch your boxing matches. And you got a big gaping hole in your programming. You're wasting the time of people because the people that want to watch boxing who are subscribed to HBO don't care about HBO boxing. It's not a value to them. And I can speak firsthand. I'm an HBO subscriber. As an HBO subscriber, and I've been a HBO subscriber for well over 20 years of paying bills to HBO. I don't watch HBO boxing, and I'm a hardcore HBO. I'm a longtime HBO subscriber. I'm a longtime HBO subscriber and a hardcore boxing fan that didn't even know that Superfly 3 was being aired. Because their boxing is terrible. It's not a determinate factor of people subscribing. Right. I guess that's right. It's not determinate. People aren't watching. Is that a nice way for saying people aren't watching? Well, anyway, they're out of boxing. Goodbye to bad. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Is that what it is? Is that the saying? Good riddance to bad rubbish. I'm so happy that they're out of there. Now what you going to do? Now what are those boxers going to do? You're going to have to fight somebody. What are they going to go run over there to ESPN? Going to run over there to ESPN? Where's Canelo going to go? To ESPN? ESPN doesn't even have a pay-per-view market. They're not doing pay-per-view over there at ESPN. That's not in their business model. If it is, it's not in their business model right now. You're going to have Canelo Alvarez fighting on ESPN Plus. You're going to have Canelo Alvarez fighting on DAZN streaming app. No, the only cat with a pay-per-view, the only people with a pay-per-view audience that looks like they're getting to that audience is Showtime. And Showtime is increasing their budget. and they're partnering with Fox News. Fox. Look, man, I'm loving it. Congratulations, boxing world. What a great event. What a great situation. I never again have to listen to Jim Lampley call a fight. I don't have to listen to Harold. I don't have to listen to Harold Letterman do whatever the heck Harold Letterman was doing. Roy Jones dude needs to go. Somebody need to hire Roy Jones Jr. Hopefully, come on, Roy. Come call some fights on Showtime and telling people what you really think. What you gonna do, Bernard Hopkins, dog? What you gonna dog? Tap dancing time is over, dog. Tap dancing time is over. Yeah. Anyway, man, it is what it is, and I'm happy, dude. Congratulations to boxing. Ding dong, the witch is dead. And I'm out. Peace.